What is up, everybody? It's the Let's Catch Up podcast, episode 20. This is Matt. Got my cousin Tony across the table. What's up, Tony?
What's going on, G? How you doing?
I'm doing well, and we have a very esteemed guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Rolando Bass.
Rolando Bass. And what are you here to talk with us today about?
That's unfair.
Not fair?
That's unfair. Like, yo, you come on our show and now you gotta tell us what you gonna talk about. That joke was corny.
Fair enough.
No. Like, all right, so from what I know you from is you're a barber in Frederick. Yeah. That's how I met you. Mm-hmm. And then now I'm seeing that you have some YouTube footage that is of you getting pulled over by the cops.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
Lots of footage of that.
So what made you say, okay, I need to record this footage the first time you did it?
Oh, you know what? That's the best question you could have asked, because nobody understands what I do.
Right.
Just everybody's opinion ain't it? It is what it is. But some people can't understand it, and I try to tell people I'm able to do this based on my own experiences. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I got pulled over one time. I was on a motorcycle, and the cop told me I'm flagged for having a lot of stops with the police. So,
what does flagged mean?
So he had to run your tags before he knew that you were flagged, right?
Well, my license, the bike I was on wasn't in my name, so he didn't get that on the tag.
But what made him stop you?
He said I was speeding on the exit ramp or something. He didn't give me a ticket or nothing, but he thought it was weird. He was like, "You got a lot of stops," and I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Right.
And he was like, "You need to stop what you're doing to get pulled over." And I was like, "You need to talk to your boys, because I don't even have tickets for those stops." And he was.
That's Siri back there tripping.
Yeah. Always listening.
No, that's not that one. No, that's the iPad, bro.
You might want to turn the GoPro a little.
Just hit cancel.
Here we go.
Turn it.
Towards him.
No, toward you.
This way, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That good?
Yeah.
All right, we back.
We back.
So he pretty much was just saying, like, I don't see why you're getting so many stops.
Yeah, and then after he noticed I wasn't getting a lot of tickets, he was like, "Wow." So then I started watching YouTube, and I said, "Wait a minute, what?" And I started researching all the laws that people were saying, and I'm like, "They're right." And then the next thing you know, I got pulled over one time, and I had my phone mount right there. I recorded it. I didn't say anything.
Right.
And that was the first time I recorded. I didn't say one word the whole stop.
Were you nervous?
I was the whole time. I was nervous, but then I was trying not to laugh at the same time.
Right.
Because you knew they was getting mad.
You know what?
So how did that interaction go? He just pulled you over.
That cop in particular, I don't remember his name. That cop in particular, he didn't show any emotion towards it. He honestly didn't.
So when he asked you a question, and you just sat there silent.
I didn't say not one word.
Did you roll down your window?
I cracked it. No, actually, I think I rolled it down that time. Yeah.
Did he ask for your license and registration?
Yeah.
And you just handed it to him?
Yep.
Didn't say anything?
Nope.
Did he ask you what? Do you know why I pulled you over?
No, he didn't. And you know what? When I look back on it, I wish that I asked, because I don't believe he had any reason at all to pull me over, actually, because he saw me. I was in my I had an old C-Class Mercedes. I love that car. And
humble flex or weird flex?
Nah,
okay.
I didn't.
It's a cheap car, but
I got you. I'm joking.
You gotta like them to have it. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things.
Fond of it.
Yeah. So I had a 15-inch sub in there. I was thumping, and then I looked next to me. It was like a Honda, but they was like unmarked. It was like undercover cops or whatever, out of uniform.
Right.
And they were looking, and then the next thing you know, I made a turn, and then a block later, they're behind me. I'm like, oh, they about to pull me over. And
oh wow,
he pulled me over.
So what? You sat there quiet. What did he do after? Like, what did he do? How did it end?
He came back, gave me my license and registration, and I was on my way.
Hey.
the
That's
camera
really
side.
weird. That's
That is- it
You,
just sounds
you
really
think it's weird? Why is that weird? Why is that weird?
that you gave him your license and registration. He walked to the car, came back, gave it to you. Y'all never communicated about why you got pulled over or why he was letting you
He
go.
didn't have a reason to pull me over.
But
It
he
was
also
bullshit
did it-
anyway.
and he did, what did he tell you when he let you leave?
He let me roll. Hey,
That is
go.
weird.
It wasn't what he was
Right.
looking for.
It was He wanted the guns, drugs, and the dope, and you know the car definitely smelled like weed. So he didn't lie and say that. I respect him. He honestly, that cop in my eyes, respectful dude. He was doing his job, nothing more. That's what we pay
It's
him to
almost
do.
like Malcolm
Excuse me for a
X.
second, guys. Can you do me a favor? Can you close the door?
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, DJ. DJ working like five
Shout out
jobs a
Trap
day.
Healthy.
Shout out Trap Healthy.
So it's kind of almost like Malcolm said that comment. Like when Malcolm said, I'd rather a wolf be a wolf than a wolf be in sheep clothing.
Right.
Like he just kind of gave it to you straight up. Like, we didn't get you, so.
He didn't say
I
anything.
mean,
He
but
didn't
that's
say
kind of,
that.
but that's kind of like what it was.
I don't want people to put words in my mouth,
Okay,
so
fair
I'm
enough,
not going to
fair
put
enough.
words in his. I don't know, but
But it just was this.
I knew they were behind me. I didn't do anything that would get me pulled over. I've never in my life been
And you
pulled
never
over
got a
on
ticket,
purpose
honey.
because I wanted to get pulled
Yeah,
over.
he didn't lie about it. He just.
Did he ask you like, do you have any guns, weapons, knives, or paraphernalia?
I never. It wouldn't have mattered. He didn't. He
All right.
didn't. But he didn't get that far.
So
Let's say
I-
that. Let's say.
So
that.
I got pulled over. Like I was driving with B, one of our friends, and he flicked a cigarette out the window. We was coming from, you know, where the little at the top of Market Street, where you come from 85 to go on Market Street.
Mhm.
We came out there from where Carver's is, and we were driving down. He flicked a cigarette. That dude stopped me at Black Hog.
Wow.
He followed me that far and
That's
stopped me at Black Hog.
Can you
He
explain how far that is for people that don't know?
That's almost a mile.
Almost a mile.
A whole
He
mile.
followed me a mile, and
But
we're-
that's a long, boring mile. too,
it's
though.
not. It's not
It's,
like.
it's not long, but it seems longer than.
And there's like, and there's a stoplight. It's a city type. It's not like open or anything. Like
Yeah.
it was like
A
very
mile can take you like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
right. So he
Stoplight,
followed me that
stoplight
whole
and
time, and he pulled me over, and he was like, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I was like, and I was kind of a smart ass. I was like, if I knew, I wouldn't have did it. Like whatever I did, I would. If I knew, I saw you behind me. I just don't know what you're pulling me over for. So then he was like, his very next question was, "Do you have any guns, weapons, knives, or paraphernalia in the car?" And I'm like, first of all, does that work? Like, would I ever just be like, yeah, no, I got a kilo in the back, and I got like, I would never. I'd make you find it. Like if
You know what's crazy? And they teach police this in the academy, and it's true. You'd be surprised how many people would allow them to search their car with the stuff they have in it, just hoping.
they don't find it.
You would be surprised. Ask a cop how he feels about that, and they train them. Ask those questions. So most people in jail because they told on themselves.
Right.
They shut the fuck up. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
on
go ahead.
the
If they shut
Open
the fuck
forum.
up, they'd be great.
Right.
That's it.
Just shut your mouth,
Just
yeah.
shut the fuck up. I do too much talking,
right.
but I'm just a smart ass, and it
know
ain't
your
happened
laws.
yet. I just haven't said the wrong thing. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So
But so it ended up being they pulled us out of the car. They like searched the car. He was like, "Can I search your trunk?" I was like, "No, it's locked." And he was like, he said something about me being a smart ass. And then some black dude walked down the street. It was like, "Y'all all right down there?" Like blah blah blah. I'm like,
Oh,
"Yo,
yeah,
what-"
good looks, good
I'm
looks.
like, "No, what is he gonna do?" He scurried
He just
off.
looking out.
Yeah.
hey, the witness makes the difference.
Yeah, yeah.
The witness and the cameras make
So
the difference.
they ended up giving me a $200 ticket for my friend flicking a cigarette butt out the window. So I was like, "So you pulled me over for littering, and you think I have guns, drugs, weapons like that? Those two things have nothing to do with each other."
They're told to ask it though, and you know what's crazy? They're taught to ask that question, and if anything but a laugh is to raise an eyebrow of suspicion. So if you don't like, because nobody drives with a bazooka.
Right.
So it's like, come on, bro, bazooka. Like,
Right,
like
right,
the
right,
average
right,
person
right,
just
right,
goes
right.
a bazooka. Are you,
Really? Are you?
are you-
yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah.
But the person, somebody who might have, somebody who dirty might be like, oh no, oh shit, no, and So they ask you all of those questions
To
for
see
a
how you
reason.
react.
And
It's
it- and
all
it's-
those questions I ask for a reason.
And it's almost like they're using their authority and kind of your fear of authority to try and like coerce you, like silently coerce you into some shit that's unnecessary.
You're 100% right, but can you, if it works, can you blame them?
Right.
I'm not
It doesn't work.
pushing
It,
blame.
it doesn't
Like
work
I
on
said,
me, but it might work on somebody's. So
I mean,
if
it
it makes their
definitely.
job
I mean,
easier,
from what you
But
described,
is
it's
that like
definitely working.
is that a perversion of justice? Like
it's
I
not
would-
illegal.
I know it's not legal, but it's like do you not have nothing else to do? Like there's actually people out committing crimes, and you're pulling me over and trying to get a drug or weapon charge off me for my friend flicking a cigarette out the window.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I hate that. I hate to speak on the police behalf, but
It sounds like you're about to do what you.
yeah, I'm about to do that. But they find those types of things with that.
I get it.
They pull people over for going 4 miles over the speed limit and end up with a trunk full of
Adult,
100
yeah.
keys of coke. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It happens. So
Yeah.
you kind of can't blame them for doing it, but it's up to you to stop it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Right.
got the power to keep it from going further.
Right.
That's what's kind of dope about your platform too, is you kind of showing people not only do you have the power, just like in an abstract sense, but you showing people what that power looks like, what questions to ask, what posture to take. You know,
All right. I wouldn't tell anybody to do it the way I do it. I've been told over and over again.
You about to get us killed by Rel if you keep hitting that table.
My bad. Hands are moving under the table. The
I know, but you see all of us we're sitting here.
Hey, for y'all that don't know,
short, so I'm
Rel is kind of a tyrant when it comes to this sound system. Like,
Yeah.
he's very
No,
tyrannical.
we're like. Remember when you seen like the new edition joint and the dude that was like all on him with the stick, like how they were dancing and shit. That's how
Rel
Rel
with
is.
the sound
Rel is with the. He's like,
Joe Jackson.
you ain't hear
and
him like
his
yelling at me about.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, like that dude.
I know the mic check was real.
Yeah. No, he was.
He don't play with the
He don't play with the mic,
whole-
man.
Mic check.
But yeah, so
You're saying you don't advise people to do it the way that you do,
If you ask me, I think I do fine.
right?
But I listen to what people tell me because the outside looking in gives me a bigger input than what I come up with. So a lot of people say I have a aggressive approach.
yeah, you are aggressive. You be frying everybody comes in your barbershop.
But that's just that's comedy. I'm just making.
But no, that's aggressive though. That's assertive. It's very assertive.
I think
Aggressive is a little different than assertive. You're very assertive.
yeah, but when they say I'm getting pulled over and they say I'm aggressive towards the cops, first off, one thing I always try to do is match the cops' energy. So if the cops aggressive with me, I'm going to be the same way back.
Right.
Either that or I'm gonna shut
And that's
up.
not against the law.
It's not.
Is
It's
there a
not at
reason?
all. It's not aggressive. But see, it's not aggressive. It's not against the law for them to do it either.
What's
And
your reason behind that?
To match their energy.
Because I'm grown. I don't enjoy no man yelling and talking down on
Right.
me. So why would I take that? I don't have to take it. I'm not going to take it.
Right.
So you're going to deal with what I'm dealing with.
We equal.
Let's do it.
You letting them know we
Yeah.
equal.
Let's do it.
Like-
And see, you gotta really stand on it. Like when I get pulled over, I'm prepared to go to jail. I'm prepared for them
Right.
to tow my car. I'm prepared for
Right.
for anything that's going on. You know what I mean? Lord forbid if something happens to me.
Right.
But it is what it is. Hey, look, if I let them push me and I don't do nothing back,
Right.
I'm not going to sleep at night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's at
it's-
the end of the day, every man has his respect and principle, and you know, if you gonna stand on anything, you better stand on that. You know what I mean?
something. At least just something. It don't gotta be.
Have you?
So how do you respond to maybe like if you had kids, would you give them to do anything you got to do to get out of the interaction talk, or would you try and educate them to try and stand on what you're standing on?
I'm working on that right now. Actually, my oldest is 12.
So you do have kids, my bad.
Yeah,
Should ask that first.
but see, I want them to do it with a different approach than me. But yeah, they
Because I think what he just hit on was very important, because it's okay when, and I do it all the time. Like, where as a man, I feel like I'm more equipped to handle certain shit, but I wouldn't want my wife to take the same approach, because I feel like even though she might match her tone with him, he might be able to overpower her physically. And then, like, at least with me, he ain't gonna beat me up. He gonna have to shoot me or tase me or something like that. But with her, he could just physically beat her, just like Sandra Bland or somebody else. And no, seriously. And then, like, by the time she go somewhere, it's too late. I would want her to kind of just like, hey, if I can't come to help you, you just do what they say and we'll figure it out that way.
Well, that's what you always comply.
Right.
You always physically
Right.
comply, and that's why I tell everybody, before you try to exercise your rights, learn them.
Right.
Because don't listen to me and go and do it. Go read this in the book, because
Right.
when you sitting there and you have a cop telling you the opposite,
Right.
you sit
don't
there,
know where
you don't
you're
know
at.
what to do, and the cops are allowed to lie. You're not.
Right.
So
Wow.
remember that. You know what I mean? That's really
Wow.
important. Don't say nothing. Don't lie. Just don't say nothing. Your lawyer will love you.
Right.
But you gotta you learn it.
Learn
It.
right. Like,
That's the
your
easiest
laws,
way to
right.
do it. And there's different ways to do it than me.
What do you think is the most important thing that somebody, if anybody right now that gets pulled over, what is the one thing you think they should, or law they should remember? Let's say maybe not a universal one, but like Maryland. One thing you should know when you get pulled over that the cops cannot do that they try all the time. Or the one thing that's gotten you out of some like hot water that you remembered, like, oh shit, they can't do that, but they keep trying me on it.
That's rough. That's rough because it's a few different things. I think where people get in the most trouble, then the one I hear the most that people mess up on is they think that they don't have to get out of the car. Supreme Court ruling says that if they ask you to get out, you have to get out. So a lot of people think, they say, what for? You got to give me probable cause for a reason.
No,
they
you just
have
get
to
out.
You got to get out. So that's the one that I see and hear about that leads to the most trouble.
Right.
That's the one.
Because you resisted or whatever.
Well, yeah, and then you put yourself in a crazy situation. At the end of the day, I'll get out. I'm under distress. You use your words. I narrate. If you watch my videos, when I'm doing certain things, I say what I'm doing. I speak it as I'm doing it. I'm getting out. I do not want to get out. I'm getting out because this armed man is telling me to get out, and he's threatening me with violence.
And he has a constitutional license to exert that law
Power on
you. Yeah.
He does and he doesn't. It depends on how he does it. As long as he does it according to what the Constitution says.
Right.
So.
Another question I had was, and I have some friends that are in law school, and one of them posted an Instagram video saying that if you're being arrested or detained, and you're given the right to remain silent, you have to invoke the right to remain silent vocally. Is that true? No.
Just don't say nothing.
Don't say anything.
It's funny.
Well, they can't force you to say anything.
No one can force you to open your mouth. You know, look, if you're in that position, I imagine you're going to be a real stressed out person.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to relieve some stress holding in the laugh when you just look them in the face and don't say a fucking word.
And you probably make your life less stressful in the future.
You will make it way easier on your lawyer if you're guilty.
You just don't
if
say
you're
guilty.
Even if you aren't, but definitely if you are, shut
just
up.
Shut up.
Shut up. Don't say.
Best way to go sometimes is
up.
just shut your damn mouth.
But they'll definitely.
Hey, they look. They find something in the car. Hey, what's this? I don't gotta. They know your rights. You don't gotta tell them.
You ain't gotta answer nothing.
I don't have to say. That's when I laugh. I know my rights, officer. I don't gotta say nothing, but they still talking. Just do it. Just
don't say
when they say roll your window all the way up. I don't tell them. The Supreme Court says no. I'm just not gonna roll. I'm just gonna. Hey, if it's illegal, lock me up. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah.
That's real. Another thing I guess we had kind of prepared to talk about was the impact of these situations as far as like what they can mean for someone's life if you do go to jail, and the way that it disrupts really everything about your lived experience as well.
Different. It depends on your situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you live paycheck to paycheck, you might get pulled over and you might say, I can't afford to go through this. And you might bow down and not exercise your rights. I don't blame people for it. I understand it. I've been there.
Right.
Me personally, it is so important to me that no matter what situation I'm in, I've been pulled over and I did not have time to sit on the road and deal with the police.
Right.
I wanted to get out of it as quick as possible, but just to be honest, when I exercise my rights is completely different from when I didn't.
Right.
When I didn't, they're tearing my car apart on the side of the road.
Right.
Then I'm there for another 30 minutes.
Right.
Now that I exercise my rights, there's more dialogue,
Right.
but I leave with my nuts and
Untouched, yeah.
untouched. You know what I mean? So
Do you find that now that you've invoked that kind of like, I don't want to say aura or whatever, but like that you're the guy that does that?
Yeah, is there
do
a
you find
reputation? Oh, sorry, my fault.
all right, it's real funny.
Do they
I'm not
harass
gonna-
you?
I feel like
Have you noticed a difference?
I think I get pulled over less now, but they know who I am.
Right.
They all know who I am. I run into cops and they say, "Hey, Mr. Bass, I've never seen him in their life," and I'm like, "How do you know?"
They've been
Like,
watching
come
your
on,
videos.
You're all
and
over
that,
YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some of them tell me, but I feel like they left me alone. I feel like they leave me alone more. I
think that's
don't
because they never found nothing. They're just like, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Like,
Yeah, I feel like kind of like that. I honestly wouldn't know though. I
Right.
mean,
so that's surprising because I've always thought Frederick would be more of the opposite. Like, oh, we're gonna try to get him now.
you never know. I don't know what they doing. You know,
Wait,
they wouldn't
well-
be smart to let me know. You know what I'm
Some
saying?
people have seen your videos.
Huh? Oh, they definitely.
Hey, did they say anything about them?
Some of them like it. Some of them think I should do what they say. That's, You know, you.
Interesting. Yeah, it was just.
I mean,
real humans.
the one thing they can't deny is legal.
Right? Is that you know your rights?
What can you do? It's legal.
How important do you think it is? Like, how imperative is it for anybody listening to go and actually read the rights, and what should they go and read? Like, I think a lot of people just don't know what to go read to prepare for
Well,
that.
Ignorance is no excuse to the law. Even though no one knows the law 100%,
Right.
If you break the law, even if you didn't know it, that's not going to get you off.
Right.
So you should definitely know all your regular laws the best you can. You know,
Where did you find them at?
The internet, Google.
Did you just Google regular laws?
Google. Nah. You Google Maryland state law.
Okay.
I studied the state law and the Constitution,
Right.
Because that's the state law doesn't always agree with your constitutional rights at all. It
Right.
doesn't at all, most of the time.
But the constitutional ones win, right?
Yeah, but you got to understand, you're going to fight to get that.
Right.
Because Maryland state law is on this piece of paper here. When you go to court, they're going to be looking at this piece of paper.
Right. And then you have to say, hey, you're not looking at the other paper.
Yeah, you're not looking at this right here.
The master
but they
care.
still got this piece of paper here.
Because that's how they run their
And with
state.
and what they follow, and then you gotta lose, appeal it. I haven't been that far.
I asked that question because before anybody goes and does any of this, we want to make sure that you are well studied and equipped to handle like you are. If you go out and try to pull that, I'm not going to say nothing, and then you get that cop that's like power hungry or trying
you're not going to find in any state that you have to answer a question. Certain those few things, there's not a state law to go against.
Have you watched Queen and Slim?
Yeah.
Like that type of cop where he, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay, can you explain for people that might not have?
no, go see the movie.
Queen
I was
of
about to say, I ain't even seen the movie yet, so
Yeah.
don't explain.
Yeah, you've seen it, and anybody that hasn't seen it, you should go see it. And I'm not going to explain. You'll just be sitting here on a cliffhanger.
Thank you.
Go see it, and especially you, Matt, because you critiqued it before you even saw it.
No, I didn't critique.
What did you
the
say?
movie?
What did you say?
I said I'm.
Don't lie on the microphone.
Hold up, I didn't
I'll
say.
pull up the Facebook.
You can go ahead and do that. I never said anything about the quality of the movie. I said that I'm not trying to pay to. I heard someone dies or black people die at the hands of some kind of violence, and I don't want to go. I've been there in a movie theater to see that before. I just don't want to have that experience.
That bothers you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Does
And
it bother you when white people die?
when white people die? No, I mean, yes, of course, in certain situations, but I think it's not the same.
You know, it's
Because
not a
there-
real
it's-
movie.
Yeah, but can I explain why like that
We're
triggers
listening.
me? Okay, so the reason it triggers me is because like when I was kind of coming of age and like really learning what the world is, I was on Twitter deep, especially 2013, 2014, and seeing like people die on Twitter. and that like.
So does the world.
Okay, but I'm saying for me, how I can't tell you how it affects Waddy or you. I mean, you guys got different faculties. You're made up differently than I am. I'm saying for me, it triggers me. It traumatized me. Like seeing Mike Brown bleed out on a concrete live in real time as he's bleeding out. Like for real, 2 minutes, he's dying and it's on Twitter.
To paraphrase,
you know what I'm saying? So
like, yeah,
and
we
I
understand.
went through that with Philando Castile.
We were all there. Yeah, we were all there too.
For me, it wasn't something I was prepared to handle at 16, 17, 18.
So here's what I'll say to you. One, that it's not, it's a fictional movie, right? Like, it's not real. These aren't real people. Two, it does, even knowing what I know and where I came like, coming from the demographic that I'm at, I still watch because I still learned something at the end of the movie. Like, there was a part in there with old gangster dude where I was like, that is the one that always end up sinking the ship. Yeah, sinking the ship. So like it was like even though that is a part of the movie, and I'm not gonna ruin it. It's police violence is a part of the movie, but it's also a good portrayal, and you could take away stuff from that. It's not you in your post, and I'm paraphrasing here. You made it seem like it was gratuitous, like it was this. Why are we always putting out this type of movie? That's what you kind of put out, and I'm paraphrasing. So, like it was gratuitous. Like it was this is over the top for no reason. But that movie was done really well. I don't know, how do you feel about it? But I thought that movie was done greatly. It was a beautiful movie.
That was the first movie that involved a lot of racism, and at the end of it, I didn't hate white people.
Exactly.
Like, if I watch Roots, I ain't talking to none of my white friends for a couple of days.
Right.
Fucked up with
No,
you.
seriously.
Okay. I mean, I'm saying,
honest.
having had that experience before, it's tough for me, especially at the moment where I'm in, where it's like I'm still healing and trying not, like, because you guys have that, you specifically have been having that conversation of let go of some of that pain, let go of some of that weight. You know, so I feel like for me, where I was at and where I am at, it was just paying for it and going to the theaters. I'm gonna watch it when it comes out.
I think you'll definitely feel like
it just wasn't the space for me, and I knew it.
Right, but I think you'll also kind of like feel like you should have seen it. Like it would be.
That might be true.
Yeah, and I think when you do see it, you'll be like, that was a classic movie.
It was a deep one.
It had layers to it. It had a lot of layers. It had a lot of layers to it. It was almost like one of Get Out, almost like, but not like a horror film. But it was like how many layers they kind of built stuff on. Like
I don't think you can compare that. I don't think you can compare it to that type of movie.
Like the imagery and the imagery and the symbolism in the movies. Like,
not the symbolism, because
I saw a lot of
that
symbolism.
movie spoke for. You saw empowerment and entitlement on both sides based on what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
And it was deep because you see from both sides why they feel that way.
Exactly.
That's something we never think about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's something we never think about.
With the little kid. Like
we say you feel that way, fuck you,
right.
Go on. We don't say, why does he feel that way?
Exactly.
You know
that movie makes you say, dang, I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
Because there's points in the movie where I'll be totally honest, I kind of felt on the cop side a little bit, like, dang, that was unnecessary or whatever. You know what I mean? But then there was times when I was like, fuck the police on that side. Like it was really a human experience. You know what I mean? That's what I'll say.
It was deep.
It was deep. So like,
I also think the opposite is also as equally a legitimate human experience, like righteous indignation. Like the fuck the police is also, I feel like a valid.
But that's not what I was saying.
You gotta see it.
Like what I was.
Yeah, I know. No.
But what I was saying
very
was
true, valid.
What I was saying. Well, because of course it's valid because you have people that 100% support the police. Like anytime one of us gets shot or something, they'd be like, "Well, what did he do?" You know what I mean? Oh, he didn't just comply or listen or do whatever.
I call them cocksucker.
Exactly.
Cop
suckers. and then on the other side, like, so no matter what I would have did, if I'd have laughed or if I'd have been silent, well, he should have just answered. That's why he got killed. Like, you know what I mean? So you have those people that no matter what you do, and then you have the other people on the other end. That movie kind of allowed you to move more, like, in most things in my life, I'm in the middle. Like, I feel central, like, yes, I do feel like there's some fucked up cops out there, but I do feel like there's some fucked up people out there.
Okay, so my question is, what is the middle? Like, what is it really, and where?
Case by case, you can't systemically fix systemic oppression with a system. Does that make sense?
Kind of, but
Like
not
you can't just be like, oh, I'm a autopilot my response.
I feel like that's fair. I'm just worried that the middle can be a compromise in a position where we might not be in a position to compromise.
I give you an example because I learn the most from my comments in my videos.
Right.
Wow. That's
What other
interesting.
people are seeing.
Right.
Because
Wow.
I never knew.
They're observing you. You're
They're
not.
observing, and I'm looking at a whole other thing when I watch it, and I probably only watch it like 2 times, and it's up on YouTube. And
Right.
So, my thing is, there's some people I never knew until I started posting these videos that people get their ticket, get pulled over, and it's over within 5 minutes. I never knew that happened. 'Cause that's never happened to me.
Me neither.
And some people are like, "What the hell?"
I mean, you heard Devin and Rico talk about my situation right down the street.
Yeah.
Like dog, that should have literally. They just told me to move my car. I said you're parked in front of it, and then it turned into like a whole
All hell broke loose.
all hell broke loose because I told the cop you're parked in front of my car.
You're dealing with people.
I think that's it. You're dealing with people.
You're right, but you're also
It's
dealing
not
with
just it.
people who are used to people doing exactly what they say.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You meet cops with finesse.
Yeah.
They're nice. I might see a cop sometimes. Sometimes I run. I ain't
Shout out
encounter a
Officer
cop.
Hepron. He's pretty cool.
Okay.
Officer Hepron.
Shout out to
Okay.
cool cops. But I when I see the cop in my mind, I'm like, don't say shit and get ready for the bullshit.
Right.
And then he say, hey man, what's going on? How you doing?
Right.
I'm all right. How about you? Thinking I'm gonna get the hell on. Then the dude just has a friendly conversation with you.
Right.
And you can't do nothing but talk to this man because he's doing nothing but being kind to
And
you.
he's being a man to you. Yeah.
It is what it is. You, shout out to every cop who's like that.
Right.
And then he might say, hey, but just check this out, man. Let me holler at you. Like, your music too damn loud.
Right.
You know what I mean? I seen you.
But what does
drive
that
by,
mean?
Bro, you smell like weed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, chill,
He's
chill
just
out.
trying to let you know that
But
I might be cool about it. Another cop might. This might be something.
He don't have to be cool about it. Do your job. If
Right,
you want to lock me up, lock me up. If I did
Right.
something, if I broke the law, do it.
Right.
But don't do it. Just be humane.
It's all about how you.
But
Exactly.
My
exactly.
question is that humane to get policed on the loudness of your music? Like, is that truly humane?
There are sound ordinances.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I live and pay the rent that I pay because I don't want to hear loud ass music outside.
There are literal sound.
Yeah, I mean,
You
there
know
are.
what I mean?
Yeah, there
I honestly feel like it depends on where you are. You know
Right.
what I mean? So
Right. Like, so let me ask you this, because I think I already know the answer, but this is like a question I want to answer so everybody knows. Because I feel this way. You do feel like there is a need for police.
oh yeah. Who's going to govern it?
Matthew said that there was no need for police.
I never
before.
said that.
You did say that. Do I need to get my mom in here?
I mean, you can't.
Damn.
You can't. I said we should abolish prisons.
Get her on the phone.
No, you said you should abolish the police structure.
Abolish prisons.
Yeah,
then
the
what you gonna do?
What like and then that was the argument I had. I said I went to the Chris Rock joke where he was like, well, if I have a crime committed on my house, I don't want to call the Crips. I want to call the cops.
But we're
Like-
about to write a book where.
But I
All
want.
right. Okay.
I know, but the law enforcement still needs to. Somebody
There needs to be an enforcement of ethics.
of enforcement of law. Like they shouldn't be there. Like they should be enforcing laws, right? They shouldn't be like provoking or even anything else than that. Like the law, you broke the law.
But we know that's not what
this-
police do.
okay,
like,
okay.
On a systemic level, we know that's not what they do.
This is what you get.
That's not all they do, at least.
Cops are people. So you wake up, you have a bad day, you go to work, be a dick. That might not be how you are, but it's common.
For
Right.
sure. No,
Cop goes to work, he's
Everybody's
having a
been a dick
bad
at
day,
work.
Yes,
he's a
it
dick.
happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then people are dealing with a dick. You get pulled over, you don't want to be pulled over. You feel like you didn't do anything, whether you did or you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You, and then if the cop decides to be a dick, you are upset.
And he
Someone-
also has a weapon
You-
while he's being a dick.
So then you in a situation. A lot of people get punked. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people get punked when they get pulled over. Cop sits there and talks shit to him, and then he says, "Well, I could have wrote you up for this,
Right.
to kind of make you feel better." Well, at least he didn't do. No, fuck all of that.
To make you feel better
The-
or
the-
to flex his muscle on
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
at the same
ju-
time.
no,
Same thing.
Just to
Same
calm
thing.
you down. It's
It's to put you in check. Yeah.
I beat you up, now I'm gonna massage you a little bit. You know what I mean? And then you leave out when you leave out and you don't know any better, you call your friend and he's like, yeah, he pulled me over. Well, he gave me a ticket for this, but he wrote me up for one for this, and this, but he didn't.
And then your friend be
So
like, no, he
then
couldn't.
you're sitting there looking like, oh, you're satisfied.
Right.
You got your bone. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
I guess my issue isn't with cops, like the people who wear the badges. It's the system of policing seems punitive. It seems extra. It seems excessive.
What would you say that should take place in its place?
You could go on the Black Lives Matter website and read their proposal for community.
No, what's yours?
yours?
Black Lives Matter proposal.
Because I don't think
what is yours?
I don't think
Black Lives Matter proposal for community policing. They have
Okay,
the policy.
you know what bothers me so much about him, bro?
we don't know this.
He just asked me. Hold on.
I see what you're saying.
He just sat here and asked me to explain a whole goddamn 2-hour movie, and he
I didn't.
can't explain.
I wanted you to explain one
and,
scene,
and
but
he
fair
and he can't explain. He just kept repeating the title instead of saying what it is.
First would be to demilitarize. The first would be to demilitarize police. It would be to eliminate military-style budgets. It would be to make it illegal for them to have any kind of lethal, deadly weapons, because that's how almost the entire Western world polices. The second would be an end to broken windows policing, which is kind of what you experienced, which is that you pull people over and look for crimes.
Right.
Okay. And then we get into the abolition of incarcerating people for nonviolent offenses. We get into the abolition of stuff.
But that's not the policing. That's not police.
But it is police because they are targeting arrests at nonviolent crimes. So it would affect policing. If you can't incarcerate somebody, it would affect.
But now they're currently giving citations and whatnot. So
okay, but that's fundamentally different than what you have. If you get pulled over with a gun in your car, you're most likely not going to get a citation if it's not legal.
But then you
You're
also
gonna
get
go to
your day in court, and then if you do go to court, you probably would get your day in court to be able to, fight the charge or whatever. So you're not being imprisoned right on the spot, is what I'm saying.
Right, but there's still the
but you
threat
did
of
break the law.
incarceration. Sure, but I think the debate is over what should be the consequences for breaking a law, and specifically what laws.
So you
and
don't
also,
So you don't think that somebody should be detained off the fact of what you were doing was dangerous?
detained?
Like if you're riding around with a pistol that's maybe, let's say, an unregistered pistol, firearm. You haven't done anything violent, but you don't think that's
of course
dangerous?
It's dangerous.
So you don't think there should be
there
some
should
kind
be a
of
measure of
detaining
accountability, but no, and detaining somebody, taking their physical body away because that they had a weapon that wasn't registered seems excessive to me. No,
I don't think it's too excessive.
I mean,
Like
that's
they
a
at least-
difference of
they at
opinion.
least-
That's
Well, why
fine.
not?
Because I think that they still have to take the weapon from you.
They should take the weapon.
And then they still have to figure out if you have do you have any felonies? Do you have? I guess they could do all that on the spot, but they still have to go run you through the system, run you through all that stuff, get fingerprints, all that stuff. I feel like
They have to do that because that's the law.
but
They don't have to do that.
They
'cause
still-
that's the only thing necessary. That's the only way to handle the situation.
but they have to then have you follow up. Like, what's going to stop you if you just?
Absolutely,
It's a catch-20. It's okay.
It's not as clear. Exactly.
it's not as clear. I'm not saying it's
carried-
clear. I'm
look,
just
look.
saying what we have right now is
I believe-
obviously not working. The policing system is the core of why we have 2/5 of the world's or 1/5 of the world's entire prison population.
I think that's a little different. I think you're kind of.
What the police do and what the laws are
Different.
different.
Yeah,
you can't kind of.
That's what I'm
what you
saying.
get for a crime versus what you go through when you get booked for the crime or get caught are two different.
And
they're
on
two
top of
different
that,
things.
when
But why?
But
That's my question.
so here you're dealing with two.
You're talking about the justice system.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the police
versus
are a part of.
policing.
No,
but policing is.
You're
If
talking
you take
about
a criminal justice class, they're going to start
Bruh,
with policing.
why do you think you're the only one that taking the?
I'm just
the
saying.
Police are the enforcement of the laws.
Right.
The courts are the punishments that come from you breaking those laws.
You're describing.
So what I'm saying is there's laws that have literally been in place that have taken away the ability for judges to judge and have to have minimum sentences for crimes. They're no longer able to say, hey, you know what, I know this is your first crime. I sat there and I heard that you said that, you felt like somebody was out trying to kill you. You was riding around with a pistol. That's why. All right, I'm going to cut you a break. I'll give you a year in prison or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Versus a mandatory minimum says, I don't care what your excuse is, 5 years.
Sure, and that's
So
one
that
aspect. But the other aspect is, why are police not involved in negotiating truces in those community conflicts, etc.? That is what Black
Do
Lives
you
Matter.
honestly want the police to have that type
I mean,
of power?
not this police. No. It would
Yeah,
have
I
to
mean,
be a
because
restructuring. No,
they
it'd have
got-
to be an entire restructuring of what police is. That's
I think-
what community policing
But I
is.
think
it wouldn't be you sign up, you get a job, I wear a badge, and it's my identity.
down.
No. Okay, but I'm trying to explain my.
I know, but you're like taking your energy weird. It's a weird energy.
All right.
But my I think what we're trying to make it seem is like when you get people that haven't really had that much interaction with the police system, you don't really understand like that it's not that clear. Like you just said, there's a lot of gray areas. So you're making this utopian type projection in a perfect world, and that's just not how things are. Like, first of all, to turn that way, it would take hundreds of years probably to turn our justice system that way.
I don't mind. I don't mind making the turn somewhere. Though.
I understand, but then you might probably get to the point where you'd realize it's not necessarily even a law thing or whatever. Sometimes it's human nature. People are going to say, okay, I don't want this in my neighborhood. I don't want that in my neighborhood. I don't want criminals that have carried guns to be, you know what I mean? Like, people start making those kind of judgments and stuff.
And policing has not solved the policing as we have it right now has not solved those problems.
But you know
I
what?
think that
But
could
you know what?
Can we at least agree on that?
I don't know if it's their responsibility to.
Yeah.
But
If you
isn't
take
it to
it in,
enforce the law and to protect and serve? If that's what we're doing,
But you ain't going to stop people from being people.
yeah, if you
Right,
have a
I
dispute
bet
with
you
your
not.
lawyer,
You gotta
if
let
your
them talk.
neighbor, you have a dispute with your neighbor, you don't have to call the police.
No, you don't.
The police come because people call them. But if you can sit there and talk to your neighbor and hash it out, you don't need to involve the police. It's a waste of your tax dollars. They could be out doing something. That's bullshit for the
Exactly.
police to deal with. The two adults that can't agree with each other, whatever. But if it gets to that point where you might put hands on somebody, you feel like your life is in danger, you might have to call the police. I don't agree with it, but you might have to.
And
if
I'm
you
not
do it, you cool.
And then,
But
sorry, I'm sorry.
you kind of need somebody to intervene, or it's going to come down to who's the strongest person.
Exactly.
It's just in our human nature. It's going to come down to who going to beat on their chest the hardest. You know what I'm saying?
My only
Animal
problem.
Kingdom at that point.
My
Yeah,
only
exactly.
problem is that I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any third party that's neutral in a society. I'm saying that what we have is not a third party. What we have is not a neutral party.
Now,
And they just haven't acted neutral. They have
That's
acted
when it comes-
biased throughout every step of the system.
check this out.
But that's because their directives were to do so. It's not that.
My point.
But it's not because they exist. Is what I'm saying to you. That's not your point. Your point is saying they don't need to exist. We're saying that the system that they're.
It's not. I keep telling you it's not.
You literally just said that they
No.
don't need to detain people. They don't. And I'm.
That doesn't mean that they shouldn't exist. That means that what they're doing doesn't. That behavior specifically does not need to be there for police to exist and for society to be safe. In my opinion, because
I would say-
West, there are plenty of societies that exist without that reality.
they have a different.
But they don't have the same. Like, yeah, bro. Come on. Like, you can't.
But
like, you
saying, but police are
you-
not solving the problems.
Bro, okay, so you're having an issue that we don't agree with you, so you keep reiterating the same thing. So all we're saying to you is I think you're a little like you're missing some key components in your argument that are not being like addressed when you say that they don't need to exist in that capacity. And there are several other cases in which you're probably not thinking about that we're trying to bring to you and saying it's not that cut and dry.
I'm not pretending for it to be cut and dry. I'm saying that currently it doesn't work. If just the status quo doesn't work.
Let me ask you a
like
question.
increasing police budgets does not decrease crime. It doesn't decrease
Can I ask you a question?
Do you think that's what they were trying to do?
This is the biggest.
My point.
Look,
That's
look,
my
listen.
So it is working exactly how they want it to work.
Okay, but it's not
Hold
working
on,
for the
hold on, hold on.
community.
Hold on, let me
and
ask
that's
you this.
my point.
What's your solution? Because I don't think any of us should
We're
be
now
voicing
going in
what the-
circles because we.
No, you got to have a solution to
I
what
just
your
said
issue is.
community. Like I said, community policing. Policing should not, in my opinion, the mass force should be similar to the firefighters, where it's a volunteer force. It's not a career. I put on a badge. In my career is to hold force, constitutional force over people. That should not.
So let me ask you this. The KKK exists, right?
Absolutely,
There's more of them than there is of us, right?
absolutely.
What if they have their guns, and we demilitarize our police?
The police aren't
let me finish. They decide to go on a rampage against black people and say we're going to start killing black people. But now we have no police that have no militarized weapons, and they're able to stop their militia. Now what?
Bro, the police aren't going after the KKK right now. 1, 2, that
If
would
they're-
be...
you-
Bro,
you-
no,
you
don't. Let me answer the question.
No, you totally just evaded what I just asked
No,
you.
I said 1, and then
No, you didn't. I said the KKK are out here attacking black people.
Right.
If they're going out, in my scenario,
Right.
they're going out with their weapons and killing black people in the street. Right?
I'm listening.
Our police don't have any weapons if our police don't have any weapons to stop them, who's going to stop the massacre?
The FBI, the National Guard, the United States military, the CIA. Why do we need our local communities to be
How long
armed?
is it going to take to get them?
But
How long is it going to take to get them
the
here?
FBI?
Yes. How long do you think it's
FBI
going to?
moves like this.
No, they do not.
All right, bro. You might be right. The only reason you're right is because your scenario isn't a scenario. It exists, and they have not mobilized those forces against the KKK. Why? Because the current system is not built, like you said earlier, for...
Go ahead. You don't think that
isn't built to persecute racism? Like it's not. Like
that wasn't my situation.
I have to. Black Klansman was exactly that very same scenario.
That's
That was a real story, and you're trying to say that federal agency that is not actually an agency of the United States should be the people responsible for policing terrorist activity. That's what they do on their dime, on their time.
that's what who does.
Talking about local police enforcement and their ability to actually have it from a tactical standpoint and right in front of you. You know, it costs a different amount of resources, a different amount of personnel expenditure to actually go through and attack a truly organized assembly.
So, what Torian said, if you're not on the map,
The KKK is actually on the Southern Poverty list of
Terrorist group. Yeah.
okay. As a counter rebuttal, how do you answer the fact that there is a white supremacist problem in police
Hold on,
forces?
hold. You can't do.
Why?
They're people. You can't do nothing about it. If
I
it's
guess I
something
can't.
about you
I
that you don't
guess-
want me to know, you're not gonna tell me, and there's nothing I can do to get it out you. If it's not on paper or on the internet somewhere, I can't find out unless you tell me. That's with anybody. So anybody who fills out that application to be a cop can be anything. There's nothing you can do about that. But you can put policies in
I
place to
think that's my
protect the
point.
people.
I think that's my point.
Well, what you're hitting on is the fact that for a majority of time the system has been ran by white people, so or racist white people. So here's what you're failing to separate, and I separate. The system's not failing; it's working perfectly the way it was designed to work. The people running it designed it that way to work that way.
No. The system will never be perfect.
No, I'm saying
Because
but it's
everything-
working. No, I'm not saying perfect, but it's working the way they designed it to work.
No.
You don't
no.
think so?
Because they didn't design it to work for innocent people to be in jail, and innocent people aren't in jail. They didn't design it for that. It's never going to be perfect.
I think that
because
Black
it's people
codes.
running it. It's people
I think
running
they
it.
definitely designed it for black people, the innocent black people, to be in jail.
All right.
Black codes.
You can make it. You can say it's a race thing. I try to keep race out of it. I know that some people's actions are influenced by racism or whatever, but unless you can prove it, I don't believe you should.
Right.
All right, listen. I'm gonna take you back. Let's go back 1776 to 1865. Most significant time period in American history before industrialization. Why was there police? What is an officer? Everybody should know this.
Right. They were to
What did he say?
what was
What's an officer?
a slave catcher?
a slave catcher there.
What was the name of the slave catcher?
Like,
The guy who lorded over top of them on the property.
the plantation owner, overseer. Exactly. There you go.
Officer.
Right.
That
That's KRS-One.
that's identical to putting innocent.
I will say this. That,
but see-
the whole even.
And so, what can I explain what he said
Even though-
because he's not on a mic?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So he's talking about. So Torian brought up the history of
Shout out Torian for coming to check us out.
Yeah. He how to have to catch up. That's the most important thing. He's explaining about the period of American enslavement from 1776 to 1865, that the word officer itself is like a linguistic like evolution of the word overseer, and that policing is of itself a policing of innocent bodies and innocent.
I'm not going to say that every cop that stops me has that mentality.
No.
That
It's
the
a system.
system
It's a
and
system.
that
And
the
the design.
behaviors, the codes that drive the behaviors come from a certain lineage of.
Have you watched the 13th Amendment or the 13th? Have you watched that on Netflix?
I'm not.
Check that out. That's a good one too.
13th?
But, yeah, the 13th. And the other thing, you'll get a lot of that.
Michelle Alexander, she's brilliant.
She's brilliant. Yeah, and then the other thing is the even another system that is very like rooted in like slavery and stuff is capitalism. Like the idea of capitalism came from black bodies and like how to profit off of those. Like our current system is like your work system is exactly like a plantation. Like where you go to work, you have a head guy, he runs this other group of guys, they run all these other worker bees, and then they produce the product and they feed it all up. That is like a plantation system.
You can say that about anything, though.
But that's what we're saying. In capitalism, that's exactly what the system is. That's how what they designed it off of.
But you can
Bond
say that
rates.
about anything, so you can say that about that.
Bond
like you can
But
that's
you
where they
can't
came
say it, but it's objective.
there's always a boss and there's always a worker. That's
not always how it's been though. Like you literally used to have like a goat herder, and he would herd goats and trade with you locally, saying
Or
that
farmer,
you
or a
or farmer
blacksmith,
or whatever.
or
So then you'd have a blacksmith, and then we'd all work together to barter through each other. Like it would be a barter system. Like, hey, I bring this to the community. I have a place here. We all work together in the community. Now you go work for somebody. You don't know what you're making. You don't know. Like I swear to God, how many people when they go into an office job know exactly what they're producing and what it's going to, the value of it, everything. You don't know.
That's real.
You don't know. You're just producing it for somebody else to go sell it.
But that's what
And then you're selling it for somebody else to
that's
make
the
money
path
off
you
of it.
choose, though.
Exactly. But
So
we're stuck
it's
in the
not
system.
really-
Kind of.
It is a choice. I do.
I'm talking about today for people who don't necessarily have infrastructural knowledge.
If you ain't got the
If that's a
infrastructure
choice.
knowledge,
Come on, bro.
you gotta get it. You
Come
gotta
on,
get
Ro.
it.
He said, "Come on, Ro."
I
think
ain't
we
graduate high school.
I think-
I'm an
Fair
independent business owner. I'm
Fair
about
enough.
to do stuff people who did go to college
But
ain't even
you
do.
you broke out of the having a boss man. Like
Ignorance is ignorance.
One
If
last
you
thing that
can't-
I'll
if
say
you can't
is-
overcome it.
my grandfather
wrap
said,
it
my grandfather told me that he had like a white dude that always made him say that I'm your boss. And my grandfather refused to call him his boss. He was like, I don't have a boss. He was like, I work here. You might supervise me, whatever, but I ain't calling you no boss. But I think that was like, him trying to symbolically say, I'm not on your, like, think about it. Old slaves used to be like, all right, boss, coming. Like, you know what I mean?
You know the difference between you got and those old slaves ain't got?
What?
You can stay at that job and say boss for a couple of years,
Yeah.
manage your money right, and become the boss.
And then I can become.
They didn't- they
then I
didn't
can
have that
become.
option. We
Then
got
I can
that
be
option
saying.
now.
Then I can become Steven off Django.
And
then I can-
You can be a successful nigga.
Then I can be
that-
the.
You- that's
You gonna
what
let him
you
sleep
can
in the
be a
big house,
successful
boss?
I'm
nigga.
with you, Ro.
You gonna let him
know
sleep
what,
in the?
nah.
That's
You
all
gonna
of
let-
us
you
in
gonna
here.
let
From the gutter.
That's what all of us in
gutter,
here is
bro.
becoming.
Everybody
And I
that works
ain't-
their way up into that shit, they that's exactly how they do. You gonna let me sleep in the big house now, boss? Like, yeah, come on.
Nah, man.
With
Hey,
that,
somebody
we gonna
gonna do
move.
it. Somebody gonna be Sambo.
Actually,
Somebody gonna be Sambo, bro.
Exactly.
With that-
Hey, that's
I ain't mad
that's
at
people.
it.
That's
I ain't mad
people.
at it. But that's the system we in, though. That is the system we in.
We're gonna move forward to who done it. We're gonna switch up the.
What's
the
who done it?
Okay, so
You got to explain it to him.
yeah. Who done it is our little trivia like mini game that we have. It's just to like kind of break up the conversation and kind of get towards the end of the show. So what? Dang, we forgot to tell you that because you said why don't we come in with our own ideas?
Just go
for the
ahead.
story.
Just go ahead and do it.
Okay, so the winner will get to choose to talk about whatever they want to talk about the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Right.
That is
So
it.
whatever topic you have on your brain to talk about, you can talk about it.
Oh, all right.
Yep. All right, today's Who Done It, because last week we got into gangsters at the end of the gangster mentality at the end of the show. So we're gonna go with two of America's most notorious gangsters. We got Al Capone versus Greg Machine Gun Kelly. Are y'all ready?
Not the rapper.
Greg,
The actual
Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly
Yeah,
that he based his
Greg
name off
Kelly.
of.
Yeah.
The real Machine
The
Gun.
real
I
Machine.
don't know. I didn't know there was a real Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
All right, you want my phone to Google?
There's
some
also
answers?
a real John
I'm
Gotti.
I'm
Did you know
actually
that?
about to Google Machine Gun Kelly.
Did you just say? Did you know there's a real John Gotti?
Gotti, yeah. I mean, before Yo Gotti. That's where he got the name from.
All right, so we're all out of here.
Here we go.
Dang, they slammed the door on you, dog.
No, hold up. I never want Rel to say anything about the sound again.
Yeah, he just made the whole room puff.
I never
You just
want
made
Rel.
the whole room do a puff.
My point. He said, you know, there was a real John Gotti.
You just made every microphone have a gust of air in it.
I needed to, yo.
I needed to.
So when y'all are listening to this and the sound there's a gust, that was Rel slamming the door like a Neanderthal.
Old man real.
Old man Rel.
Oh, man.
He still got
really bad.
look.
I'm sorry that
I'm not trying to
I'm
joan, but your joint does look like you literally just got off work and you just came right in here.
I did.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
Oh, man. Here we go. All right, number one.
my bad.
At least untuck your shirt, man.
Yeah, untuck it like I'm gonna have the photo tucked in. Look.
Hey,
Look,
hold up.
they gonna be like Mr. Collins.
Yo, hold up.
Mr. Collins.
At work.
That's what they call me, Mr. Collins.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You still got the like I emptied all the
You
all
ever
the
had
trash receptacles.
You ever had a job where they made you wear certain type of shoes?
Yeah.
I always take them
Shoes?
off. Yeah, like no slip shoes or some shoes like that.
You wear slip
Or
shoes
work,
to work?
work. Yeah, but I don't wear them into work.
You can
Nah,
wear
I
some
wear my
no-slip
felines.
shoes with swag though. You can
You
put those together with swag if you. Don't get the $30 ones. Get the $60 ones. You be alright. You know?
That's funny. All right, here we go.
They look like diesels, but you won't fall.
Here we go.
Lugs, if you will.
Here we go. This gangster was born in New York City, New York. Al Capone or Machine Gun Kelly? Ro, you go first this one.
Why do I feel like Al Capone was in like Chicago or some shit like that?
Al Capone or Machine Gun Kelly?
I don't even know Machine Gun Kelly. I'm gonna say Machine Gun Kelly.
Al Capone.
Al Capone was born in New York City, New York, but okay, here we go. Number two, this gangster was most famous for founding the infamous Chicago outfit. Tony, you go first.
I will say that this is Al Capone.
Man, I don't know, dog. I do gangster shit. I don't be knowing them. niggas.
How you do
Just
it, but
pick
you ain't
an
studied
answer.
the
I don't
fundamentals.
study no.
One or the other. Don't
Come
be
on,
starting
bro,
to get
play
it
the
wrong.
game.
I don't know this answer either. I just
Came on the
guessed.
show.
You ain't even give me a multiple choice. Like you just.
Nah,
there's
it
two
is multiple
choices.
choice. It's only two.
Oh, out of those two,
Yeah.
Al Capone or Machine Gun Kelly?
in New York.
No.
I already said
This gangster
this-
was most famous for founding the infamous Chicago outfit. Tony has already answered Al Capone.
Oh, Al Capone. Yeah, because I said he was in
yeah,
Chicago,
you did.
nigga.
That's why I was like, okay.
Capone, nigga.
Oh my God.
What was the answer?
Al
Capone.
Capone.
All right, so 2-1 Tony.
This gangster's most significant claim to fame was kidnapping the oil tycoon by the name of Charles Urschel in July 1933, which netted him a $200,000 ransom. You go
Nigga,
first.
I wasn't alive then. I never heard
Just
it.
pick a name.
As one of them,
Yes.
I'm gonna say MGK because I ain't heard nothing
Me
about
too.
Capone doing nothing
Machine
with
Gun
oil.
Kelly.
It's Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay,
That-
all right.
that's
all
a
right, you know.
that would be worth today dollars $4 million.
Nice.
Oof. And he got the cash.
Next question, because I don't know if we're going to get rolled through all these.
While both gangsters served and died in Alcatraz Penitentiary, this gangster also spent time in the notorious Leavenworth Penitentiary.
Al Capone.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Damn.
Dang.
He
Still 3-2.
He took the warden hostage in 1931 and escaped with 7 other inmates.
Damn.
That's it. That was his move.
From Alcatraz?
That was from Leavenworth.
I was about to say what?
Yeah. But I mean, that seems to be his bread and butter move. Take somebody hostage and use that leverage. All right, here we go. This gangster was ultimately caught on the run in Memphis, Tennessee. Ro, go first.
Capone.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly. He was born there. That's
Nigga.
when he got caught.
4-2.
I was guessing, to be honest.
4-2.
Anthony.
Hey, the last questions were double points, so keep staying in the game. You're gonna have a shot to get back in it. All right, here we go. The Saint Valentine's Day massacre led to this gangster being named America's #1 public enemy.
Capone.
Capone.
It is Al Capone.
5-3.
All right, this gangster was arrested and imprisoned not for his violent exploits, but rather on charges of tax evasion.
Capone.
Capone.
I do the score, Rel. That was not. The
No. We getting at
See?
the end. We getting to the end.
Capone.
Again, I'm the scorekeeper. Real.
They both said Capone, and they're both right. So what does that make the score, Waddy?
That was 6-4. Real.
7-4.
That was 6-4.
6-4. Okay.
All right, 6-4 Tony, everybody. Here we go. Last
Hold on,
two.
you winning? But I got
Dogging
the
you.
first few right.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
I'm
You got the
dogging
first
you.
two wrong, literally.
I'm dogging you.
Bro,
He's
like,
been keeping score.
we literally have it on wax.
Go
You
ahead.
gonna
my
listen
bad.
back and
Y'all
hear
said
yourself
we
be
going
down
from
6-4.
Then we said the dude Chicago.
You said
joint.
Machine Gun Kelly was from New York.
No.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
let's go.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, you right. You
We got the last two. This one's worth 1 point. This person popularized the Thompson submachine gun, also known as the Tommy Roe. Sorry.
His name Machine Gun Kelly, so I'm gonna say Machine Gun Kelly did that.
I'm gonna
shit.
go with Machine Gun Kelly.
It is Machine Gun Kelly.
7-5. That was,
All right, here we go. Tony, you're gonna have to go first on this.
You don't get a name like that without knowing how to, you know.
Work a little machine gun. Hell yeah. All right, here we go. Double points. Tony, you're on the spot. This gangster's arrest was overshadowed by the news that all 10 members of the infamous Dillinger Gang escaped from a penitentiary in Indiana on the exact same night.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh shit, it's my turn. Say it one more time.
This gangster's arrest was overshadowed by the news that all 10 members of the infamous Dillinger Gang escaped from a penitentiary in Indiana on the exact same night.
I'm gonna say Machine Gun Kelly because I don't think Capone had anything to do with the Dillinger Gang.
Neither of them did, but it is Machine Gun Kelly. So Tony did walk home with it tonight. He's on fire, low key, on these. He is, yeah. He's pulling out. He
Which
ain't
ones
lying.
did I get wrong, bro?
You
Because I
got
don't
the
believe.
you got the New York one wrong. You got the penitentiary one wrong. Which one was in Leavenworth? I believe those are the.
I thought we said.
I'm gonna defer my winnings to Ro. We'll talk about
want-
whatever Ro wants to talk
All
about.
right.
talking about
I like
what
that.
wanna talk
Whatever you
I like
want to
that.
talk about, Ro.
That's not smart. That's not smart. I'm ignorant.
What's your time?
I know, but I'm
We got-
ignorant with
how
you.
much time we got, Waddy?
5 minutes on the clock.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
What you want to talk about?
Any topic you want to talk about?
Let's talk about them fucking
Your clock is running.
4 minutes
This
on the
is
clock.
This is an awkward way to waste your time.
all right. Favorite alcohol and why?
Favorite
alcohol.
Wow.
I can go
And
with
why?
mine.
And why?
I can go with mine is Crown. I love
Wow,
Crown.
that's a great one.
Crown, and I like either on the rocks or you know, only ginger. Don't give me no Coke.
But
And why?
I could drink it all night and feel fine. Like I could literally drink that all night long and be okay.
Okay.
And I wake up perfectly fine in the morning. I like the way it
Okay.
tastes. I like everything about it. Like, and a little baggie. You know what I mean? You go get all the different flavors. You get all the different color baggies. You know what I mean? You can make it like some gift bags for your wedding party or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, Crown is dope.
Crown is dope.
Yeah. With Waddy?
Oh, it's on to me.
Yeah. We're gonna go that way.
All right. Mine is tequila.
Oh, we knew that.
I mean,
Yeah, we knew that. Waddy!
But that's only for his health reasons.
tequila because it's bay.
Because it's Bay. It's just pure and simple. I like that.
as shit.
I like that. I like
What's your favorite liquor, DJ?
Tequila. Which one? Which one?
It's because he wants a tequila sunrise. That's why.
you
Sunset-
said Patron. Which tequila?
Same.
It's Patron. Okay.
That man like Cuervo like shit.
You like
Who
Don
is-
Julio is nice too. Oh, really?
My man was about to co-sign the shit out your choice.
Man, yeah, I don't
Who-
know about that.
what do you
so
like?
I feel like mine isn't fair, but I'm gonna say blue juice, and I don't know.
What the hell is that?
So blue juice is a drink that is commonly made by members of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Like,
So that's not a liquor. That's,
That's not a
a
liquor, that's a
combination.
mixed
That's
drink.
like jungle juice, bruh.
come on.
What is one
That's what
liquor?
happened
That's
when
why I
you
said
asked
yeah.
a
I wasn't
light-skinned
gonna-
dude about
I
alcohol.
said that was gonna
man.
happen. My favorite one liquor. Fuck. Oh man, I don't know.
If you had
Red-
one, like to get one drink at the bar, what would
If
it?
I could get any drink,
But it has to be one liquor. They could have
You
all
getting
the
a shot or
mixers.
something. You getting a
All
shot
right,
or something.
all
What you
right.
getting?
I'm getting 1738.
Okay, Remy. All right, what's up?
Remy?
Remy is yeah.
All right, I got two. All right. If it's midday, you know, I'm at the bar, I'm eating lunch, give me my Jack Daniels. Or give me my
Okay.
Jack Daniels, or I'm down with Johnny Walker Black. You know what I mean? Johnny Walker
Right.
Black.
You out turning up now.
Yeah, now if we later on in the day, I need that Henny, bro.
I like that. I like that. Hold it down.
I need that liquid Viagra and
Liquid Viagra.
Let me ask you this: do you get your Jack and Coke? Like, do you get Jack and Coke, or do you just get it straight up?
if I'm in the daytime, it's getting mixed.
Okay.
If I'm
Jack
doing
and
the,
Coke.
yeah, it's only celebratory if I'm popping shot. I'm not a big drinker, but
Right.
if I do during the daytime, I do got those. It's gonna be mixed. It's gonna Coke, Jack and ginger ale, something like that.
Okay, gotcha. I feel like you,
But Henny, you can never mix Henny
right?
ever.
Just straight up.
Straight.
Well, you know what
no
I was
ice,
told that
not chill,
that
none
like
of that.
soda and like any fruity drink is the only reason why you get hangovers. Like
Really?
the sugar in it is what gives you hangovers.
I wouldn't know because when it go down and I'm drinking at night, I'm drinking Henny and I'm not mixing it. I used to mess with
do
Crown.
you get
too.
do you get hangovers in the morning?
I don't drink enough to get real, like wasted. I never go to sleep like
Wait,
like
fucked up.
it's on.
Only time that happened to me is if I mix them. If I mix my alcohols wrong, like if I drink the wrong 2 or 3 alcohols in a night.
Oh nah,
That'll
you
fuck me up.
see yeah, it's
Yeah,
light.
that'll
If it's
really-
light,
You
it's
shouldn't
light,
do
it's
that.
dark, it's
You
dark.
shouldn't do that.
Never do that.
Oh no, I mean
never do
I
that.
had to learn. But I fuck with Henny and the reason I fuck with Henny is because them little pints that they do. You can slide them in the back pocket. Walk
Oh,
That's almost any drink.
that's some
But
Nah.
what's the score of that game, bruh?
I can't do it like.
What's the score of that game?
Nah.
Say it on the microphone.
You're looking at why you.
Say it on the microphone.
Oh yeah. What?
And I'm looking.
What
I'm
is going on?
I'm
Wait,
looking
hold
at the
up.
score.
Iowa is
Hey,
playing Maryland right now.
French
What's the
kissing
score?
mic.
No, I'm trying to get it up so I can get it on the mic and talk.
It's currently 29-19 Hawkeyes.
Hawkeyes.
But-
Okay, here we go.
But we
here
all,
go.
if you're a Terp fan, you already know how we do in the first half. Second half is always.
I don't not.
I don't even
none
not
of
trying to
that.
hear none of that
Second
bullshit.
half is always ours.
Anyway,
On Iowa. Go
it's
Hawks.
been a pleasure having you on, Ro.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure. This is cool.
Shout out your Instagrams, your Facebook.
Oh man, holla at the Instagram RO100PROOF at Instagram and Snapchat. Facebook is my name.
Like that.
I go by my name. But
Oh, we didn't ask you that.
My name is my name.
I wanted to ask you about the dog shit that I saw on Facebook and the bike.
bring
shit.
Whoa! What?
No, like I do have to ask that before we get out
The
of here.
what?
So those dudes was trying to like get at you on some crazy shit on Facebook.
all
Did you handle that?
Understand
Did
it.
you
don't
handle
even-
that?
I don't even need to
Understand.
get into it, but did you handle it?
I'm an internet troll, bro.
Right.
If I'm home and I'm bored and I catch you slipping online, I'm a troll.
Right.
I troll some people in the dog community, bro. If I catch you getting wrong information, you doing something, I'm on your ass. It's just like the police.
So you handle that.
I handle that.
Okay.
I'm
And they don't want no more smoke.
Nah, not. They always want smoke in the beginning, or they friends want smoke.
Right.
But I done caught about 2 bodies on the internet, bro. Like
Oh my
2
God.
people who won't even post no more. Like, they won't block me. They won't block me because
I try to jump in the comments on one and like do turn off the comments.
Yeah, it's crazy because I don't know why they don't just block me. Like I get people who troll me.
Right.
And
And you just
I
block.
laugh. I just be like, "Oh, he funny." Some people get tight and they say something stupid and make them fall into the
Right,
trap
right,
more.
right,
Like I love it. I'm at home. I'm like, sometimes they get a good one. I'm
Right.
laughing.
And you laughing with them, yeah.
Yeah, I was playing Call of Duty. I was whooping their ass. I was whooping their ass on Call of Duty. The white boy got racist. He say, "Fuck you, you nigger. You probably stole your Xbox." I tried to reply, but his shit was so fucking funny. I said, I said that motherfucker got a good one. All right, well, he mad because I'm whooping him. I ain't-
So, and then the other thing is, you're really about that bike life.
oh yeah,
I
ride,
really wanted
bro.
to ask.
I
you
ride,
about
bro.
that.
So what did you want to
I
ask?
totally forgot. I wanted to ask like.
Like you got like
Shoot.
30 seconds.
Nah.
No, it's because we really got into another conversation, but that was actually.
I feel like there's a
It's
thing
alright.
with bikes, almost
Not
like
alright.
men having toys, but like grown up toys, and it's like what got you into bikes, like for real, like what is it about bikes that keeps you coming back?
I'm an adrenaline junkie.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it is what it like I'm gonna do something. They get my shit pumping whether it's bikes or not.
And you
I ain't-
like that? You like?
Are you in a
living on
club?
that
Are you in
edge?
like a bike club?
Nah, I was, but I'm not anymore.
Is that how intense is that to be in a bike club?
It's not like TV. Don't look at what you see on TV.
I don't know.
What do you
It's
mean
just
by
a
that?
group of people who agree with the same thing,
on
and we
bike.
doing it together. That's all. That's all it is. And now I wasn't in a gang. I was in a club. You
Right.
know what I mean? I don't know how the gang life.
Right.
is, but, You know.
All right, so that's about it. So you're
What kind of bike do you got, real quick?
Jesus
I'm
Christ!
sorry,
I'm
bro.
trying
I
to
wanna
close out the
know. I wanna
show.
know. I'm trying to
Nah,
figure out
you
my
can go talk to him at the shop. You know where he works.
It's like you know where you work.
Oh, where do
All
you
right,
work?
so-
Where do you work?
I'm at Authentic Barber Company, 308 North Market.
There we
Come
go.
get lined
We
up.
keeping them fresh. We gonna
Yes,
get
sir.
you. You come and get a
I
line
just
up
got
and pay for
mine
me.
done there.
You gonna get all the bitches, but you married, so you fucked it up.
Hey, yeah.
All
Did he?
the
Did he?
bitches.
Did he fuck it up? You better.
No,
He married, so he can't get the bitches. He fucked it up.
I don't want him.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
That,
There
that,
it
was
is.
that was a good answer
And
right
with
there.
that-
That's
with
like
that-
So your Instagram is
Row 100 Proof,
Well, we already.
your YouTube is,
Rolando Bass.
and your Facebook is all that as well.
Every-
So you can catch
I
me
go by
at
my-
Sir
my
underscore
hotline.
Anthony underscore Red on Instagram, Facebook Anthony Red. Matt is
The Black Artivist.
DJ Trap Healthy.
I ain't on there yet.
Waddy.
He.
We're trying to troll him into coming back.
I'll be back up in.
Yo, his Instagram was the nastiest place on the internet, yo.
What? Was it freaked out?
Nah, it just was like not like nasty, like freak nasty, but just like somebody just seeking nasty attention all the time. Like he just
I don't
gross.
Like,
understand how
like,
that's
bro,
the
he
difference.
had like
So
a
like okay,
picture
so
of
like
two dogs,
two dogs
fucking on the beach.
fucking on the beach. Like just weird, like thirst trap shit. Like you know what I mean?
The taco meat hanging out.
I had no thirst
I don't
trap.
think nobody was trying to thirst trap anybody with dogs.
Yeah,
fucking
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
If the type of person you'd attract with that one
Right.
is going to be.
But do you see what I mean by that's the
But
nasty
he had
thing
it
to
on
post.
his page.
He posted that.
You
just
see
think,
what I'm
just
saying?
think in that vein. A whole bunch of shit where you just like, bruh, I don't want to like this, but you my man. So that.
Oh, no, if I don't like it, I don't like it. I like shit because you my man, and I'd be like, I get it. I like it. But if I don't like it, I'm not going to like it. You're not getting no
Hey,
sympathy
you know what's
likes
true?
from me,
I don't think
bruh.
Rose like
I'll
any one of my
comment if I
pictures
don't
of me and my
like it.
wife.
Oh,
You don't like marriage. You're against my marriage.
I'm not on it. Look,
what did
look,
Pusha
look.
T say about
I'm a
Drake?
poster. I'm not a washer. I get on Snapchat, I watch the first few circles, and that's it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
get on
the same.
Instagram, I
I'm the
scroll
same
a
way.
little bit, and that's it. And that's it.
I'm joking.
I'm not. I'm a poster. I don't.
And with that being said, I think we're out.
Follow us at the Let's Catch Up podcast.
Absolutely.
Download, like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
And thank you so much for tuning in.
Oh.
All right.
Wait a second.